So then you just have to reduce your 315 over 180. Remember, if you choose to use calculator for some of the not nice ones, you can, but you can't put the pi in. If you're using these calculators, it will multiply it all out. We just need the 315 over 180, or you might have even recognized 315 as one off the unit circle. Yeah, reference angle 45, quadrant 4, 7 pi over 4. So we just leave the pi in it. If I want to change 2 pi over 5 to degrees, what do we do? So the pi's cancel, so 180 divided by 5. 36 times 2, so 72 degrees. Alright, so we can convert back and forth, either pi over 180 or 180 over pi, depending on what you need to cancel out. The next thing is just evaluating our trig functions. So remember our angle, we always want something between 0 and 2 pi. So if it's a negative pi over 3, what do we do first? That's like 6 over 3 plus negative 1 over 3, so 5 pi over 3. What quadrant is 5 pi over 3 in? 4, because it's double minus 1. Reference angle, pi over 3, or if you prefer to think, what is that in degrees? Okay, so in quadrant 4, you remember all students take calculus. Cosine is positive. That means its reciprocal secant is also positive. The other 4 trig functions would be negative. Right, so then we just think about our 60 degrees. So the sine of 60, if you do the hand trick, you fold in your 60. Sine square root of the top over 2, so radical 3 over 2. Cosecant, you just flip it, so 2 over radical 3, but we know we can't leave the radical on the bottom, so negative 2 radical 3 over 2. Cosine, looking at our hand trick, it's a square root of the bottom over 2, so radical 1 over 2 is 1/2, which means secant, the reciprocal is 2. Tangent, square root of the top over square root of the bottom, radical 3 over radical 1 is radical 3. So cotangent, the reciprocal 1 over radical 3 or radical 3 over 3. Is that one okay? You guys try B and then we'll check it. What quadrant is 7 pi over 6? Reference angle is pi over 6, or 30 degrees. In quadrant 3, T for tangent, so tangent is positive, that means the others are negative. Cotangent would also be positive. Okay, so pi over 6, 30 degrees, fold down your 30, so sine square root of the top over 2 will be 1/2. Cosine square root of the bottom over 2, radical 3 over 2. Tangent square root of the top over square root of the bottom. So this 1 over the square root of 3, which just is radical 3 over 3. Then you have reciprocals. Cosecant is a reciprocal of sine, so you get negative 2. Secant, reciprocal of cosine, so negative 2 radical 3 over 3. And cotangent, reciprocal of tangent, would be radical 3. Were those okay? Yeah. Alright. If I ask you to solve the equation, I want the answers between 0 and 2 pi. Remember, if I say all possible, that's when you put the plus 2 pi k on the end. If I just say between 0 and 2 pi, we're just thinking about our unit circle. Where on the circle is sine negative 1? Remember, sine is your y value. So if you think when y is negative 1, That's right here. I heard 270 degrees. What is that in radians?
3 over 2.
Okay, when is cosine radical 3 over 2? In what quadrants is cosine going to be positive?
1, 2.
One.
Oh, 1. 1.
Whoops, I wrote it wrong.
1, 4.
All students take calculus. 1 and 4. Okay, reference angle. When is cosine radical 3 over 2? So we're thinking, yep, when cosine, so the bottom is radical 3 over 2, so 30 degrees or pi over 6. So pi over 6 in quadrant 1 is pi over 6. In quadrant 4, double minus 1 would be 11 pi over 6. You can also look at that circle that we filled out yesterday if you need to double check or something. Alright, last one, just straight evaluating. What work do I always expect on these? Okay. 5 pi over 6, it's smaller than pi, so that's quadrant 2. Reference angle would be pi over 6 or 30 degrees. So in quadrant 2, is sine positive or negative? Positive. What is the sine of 30 degrees? Cosine of 4 pi over 3. What quadrant is that? Reference angle is just
60.
pi over 3 or 60 degrees. In quadrant 3, tangent is positive, so cosine would be negative, and the cosine is 60. Alright. Last one, 7 pi over 4. What quadrant? Reference angle is pi over 4, which we know 45 degrees. Okay, what quadrant, in quadrant 4 is tangent positive or negative?
No, negative.
And the tangent of 45? 1. Radical 2 over radical 2.